Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a program with like walls and like a ceiling. Like you guys can't see it, but there's like 4 walls here and a ceiling.
We're actually about to take out that ceiling.
Okay, a ceiling for now. So enjoy these final few episodes with a ceiling. My name's Greg Tupper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live, texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or you're listening to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the platform of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local, mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends.
Okay, today is Friday, November 3rd, 2023. It is 20 days to Thanksgiving.
Holy cow. Who am I?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah. No.
Let me finish this. Happy birthday to, oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. It's like, Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren, who played Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. It's episode 1685. Let me tell you something, okay? There was, and I understand she's got to make money.
Oh my, where is this going?
Did you see the Mariah Carey tweet on, I guess it was Tuesday night?
I don't think that I did.
She tweeted out, she's like, it's time. It's like Mariah season, and it's like the All I Want for Christmas Is You song.
Yeah.
Folks, okay, a rant for a moment. You guys know that we are Team Thanksgiving here, right? I think we've been pretty clear about that for 8 years. Mm-hmm. We've been pretty clear this show is very pro-Thanksgiving. I understand people love Christmas, and I'm not telling you to stop loving Christmas. Christmas rocks.
Yeah.
The official stance of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Today is that it rocks. Thanksgiving is early this year.
Yeah, it is early.
It's the 23rd. Okay? So if you just let us have Thanksgiving, you can have 34 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
The long Christmas.
Yeah.
Let us have this.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
No, I agree about like the decorations and stuff. The music tends to get hard just because there's not Thanksgiving songs.
Yeah,
like,
I get it.
Decorations, there are definitely Thanksgiving decorations, but like it starts to get cold outside. You're trying to get in the holiday spirit. It's like, what do you put on for Thanksgiving? Some smooth jazz.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy that. I don't think the general population does.
Anyway.
But it's early this year. You got a full week of November to celebrate Christmas.
As two of the chief branding officers for Thanksgiving, you and I.
Yes, correct.
One of the things that we've struggled with is that we're fighting against. There's no Thanksgiving music, and that is a real, like we're playing from behind. Mm-hmm. You know.
Maybe we should write Thanksgiving songs.
Well, now I might know what we're doing for our Thanksgiving spectacular.
I'm going to get Mallory to sing mine because I can write. Can
she sing?
She was all city choir in the ag. Yeah, she's got a good voice on her. She won't sing in public, but
not with that
she can
attitude,
sing.
She won't. Well, we'll get it out of her. Anyway, on today's show, folks, we got the Craven Bets, our weekly college football financial advice segment with our senior college football writer, Mike Craven. And then it's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. We're answering your questions, which you submitted to us so graciously on Wednesday. We'll answer as many as we can coming up here at the back half of the program. A reminder, Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight.
Yeah.
It's the regular season finale.
It is.
Of Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. Y'all got some big old spotlight games?
We do.
Big old spotlight
picked by Mallory Hartley, who's going to be in the producer's seat.
Ooh. Speaking of Mallory Hartley, so we've got. Make sure you tune into that tonight, 7:30 p.m. On YouTube, Facebook, and on TexanLive.com. It is free whip around coverage of the biggest Texas high school ball games across the state.
Bad news for the viewers, but your girl's on the desk this week, coming out of retirement.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to watch me just, like, pick on Ish and Nick the entire time, come join us.
Don't pick on Nick.
That's fair. I'll just pick on Ish. Correct.
I don't think I've met Nick, but he seems like a nice guy and not worthy of your scoring.
He probably catches more of my scoring than anyone, so he's used to it.
Well, yeah, you're the producer, and
Correct.
I know how that goes. One thing we are going to do around here is get a little bit of financial advice. The college football weekend is upon us. There are big games all across the Lone Star State, and an opportunity for you to make some wise investments. And here's our investment advisor, Mike Craven, in a segment we call Craven Bets. Craven Bets, America's most lucrative segment. Here on Craven's Corner, and on this corner,
we make money.
We do make money here, and now the weather's cooling off. Michael, I will ask you this: do you buy into the idea of when the weather gets colder, you should automatically look more at the unders?
Yeah, probably. Maybe not in the state of Texas, but universally. That's probably why Big Ten football kind of stinks to watch. Once it gets cold, it gets a little harder to catch the ball, pass the ball, all that stuff.
I can't tell you how happy I was when realignment finally ended and there were no Texas teams in the Big Ten. You can't make me watch Big Ten football. I'm sorry.
Preach.
Oh, it's terrible. 5 bets to this week in a loaded slate of games. We're going to start with one of the big games at 11 a.m. 11 a.m., the Texas A&M Aggies will make their way east to Ole Miss to take on the number 10 Rebels. This is an Ole Miss team that is coming in as only a 3-point home favorite against an unranked A&M team. But you think that they're going to cover that 3.
Vegas sees this as a toss-up on a neutral road. The problem is, on the road, A&M's been awful. 8-game losing streak against FBS opponents on the road. Haven't won an SEC game on the road since 2021 when they beat Mizzou. By the time they kick off on Saturday, that'll be over 2 years ago. Lane Kiffin enjoys playing against Jimbo Fisher. They ran for 390 yards last year. This isn't the normal Ole Miss team that's going to score 45 on you every single week, but I think it's good enough to beat A&M at home, unless the Aggies figure out what's going on the road.
Speaking of not scoring a ton, this is a game that Jimbo Fisher, the under, is 3 out of 4, again, when he plays Ole Miss. So consider under 54 with your purchases as well. Let's now move to Denton, to a game I believe you'll be at, as the UTSA Roadrunners visit the North Texas Mean Green, 2 o'clock in Denton at it's not Apogee Stadium. No, they got a new name. I forgot it. Whatever. The stadium on 35. They're not paying me to get the sponsor right. UTSA is a 7.5-point road favorite. You think North Texas can keep this within a touchdown?
UTSA's lost 5 in a row in Denton. They haven't won a game in Denton since 2013, the first time they ever went there. North Texas hasn't been winning games the last couple weeks, but they've been playing close ones against a good Memphis team, against a good Tulane team. That offense in Denton with Eric Morris in charge is excellent. Chandler Rogers is playing really well. UTSA hadn't played close games lately, but they're giving up a decent amount of points. To me, that means this one's going to be a shootout. Last one to have the ball is going to win, much like the regular season matchup between the two in 2022.
The steam is on the over as well. It opened at 70. It's moved to 71, even though these two teams, 7 of the last 9 unders have hit. So take that into consideration. The other huge game in the state of Texas, or involving a Texas team rather, at 11 a.m., as the number 23 Kansas State Wildcats come calling to Texas, as the number 7 Texas Longhorns welcome them in. Texas is a 4-point home favorite on a backup quarterback, and you think the Horns are going to hold it at home?
I do. This feels like one of those, everybody's talking about Kansas State and how well they've been playing. The Wildcats have been great, and I think they are the true challenger to Oklahoma and Texas in the Big 12. But what Kansas State does really well, Texas has gotten good at. Texas is good in the trenches. Their offensive line is not going to get pushed around. Devondre Sweat and Byron Murphy are not going to get pushed around, right? Like, Texas can play big boy football these days. They've been good against Kansas State over the last 10. It's quietly been a rivalry that's kind of switched into the Longhorn favor. I think even if Malik Murphy plays average football, the running game and the defense is enough for Texas to win this one at home, and a game that DKR is going to be up for 11 a.m. on Saturday.
if you're into fading the public, there's a lot of money coming in on Kansas State right now. This game actually last Friday could have gotten into Texas minus 9.5. So there's a lot of movement towards Kansas State, but Texas will be a 4-point home favorite. Let's go to the Sun Belt. 4 o'clock in San Marcos as the Texas State Bobcats look to bounce back from last week's loss to Troy. They welcome in the Georgia Southern Eagles, which if you haven't been paying attention to them, they are pretty good. Georgia Southern, a 2-point road favorite, and you like the Eagles.
I do. This one could be the best game of the week. Like when we look back on it, just in terms of pure enjoyment and the one that was most fun to watch, it could be this one. Both offenses really fun. The defenses can make plays. This just feels, again, kind of like last week, it feels like one of those that Texas State's really a year away from competing against. They've won their 5 games against teams that are 14-27. They've lost the 3 against teams that have 500 or above records at the FBS level. So they're beating the teams they're supposed to. They're not quite yet at the level of those next group of teams in the Sun Belt. I think that continues this week against Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern, a road favorite for just the 3rd time since 2020. Finally, in the vein of professional wrestling, it's a loser leaves town match as the Houston Cougars visit the Baylor Bears 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. Baylor is catching 4 at home. And you think the Cougs are going to walk into to McLean Stadium and at least keep this thing within a field goal?
Everyone else has. Baylor is 1-5 at home this year, and that only win at home was Long Island. So they haven't been an FBS team at home. They haven't been that good in Big 12 play. Houston's already beaten a team that's a legacy Big 12 member. I throw the Kansas State game out of the window for the Cougars. They had played an emotional Hail Mary win game against West Virginia, against Holgerson's former team. They play an emotional home game against Texas where, there's a call there at the end to kind of, they screws them a little bit to go into overtime. They were due for a letdown on the road. I think they're back up for this one against a Baylor team that can't stop anybody. I think this is another one that's going to come down to who has the ball last, so I'll take Houston in the points.
Houston under Dana Holgerson, 8-6 against the spread as a road underdog. So consider that. He is Mike Craven. He is our financial advisor and senior college football writer here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Craven's Corner, because on this corner,
we make money.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texans love doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose, come on. Get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
All right, Pickle. It's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score on award-winning Hondas like the 2024 rugged and
Let's just
reliable
go ahead and
Ridgeline?
assume they're going to make a 2024. You know what? Let me look this up. Go finish your copy points.
Anyway, whether you want a 2024 rugged and reliable Honda Ridgeline
Mm.
or any of the other rugged and reliable Honda vehicles, you can stop by your local North Texas Honda dealers today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
Can confirm
Oh,
there is a 2024 Honda Ridgeline.
and I bet you it's even more rugged and even more
Even
reliable.
more reliable. I bet so.
We
Yeah.
love you, Honda.
Thanks, Honda. We appreciate it. It's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. If you got questions, get them in on Helpful Honda Mailbag Wednesday when we ask, we solicit
Yeah.
for questions. So build a time machine, go back in time and ask them. But as we head into the final week of the high school football regular season pickle, what questions do the people have? Let me hear from my people.
The people. Would Drelon Miller have the same success and get the same looks if he was a receiver in a bigger school, say like Duncanville or North Shore?
Okay. Let's separate this into two conversations.
Yes.
Both of which might have the same answer, but we'll separate it. The first is the recruit part of it.
Yeah.
Okay?
And a 5-star is a 5-star.
He's a 5-star talent. It doesn't matter. And the fact that he's doing it at a 4A school
It's
in
almost more impressive.
in the Golden Triangle, which is
Yeah.
like, if you're a 4A school, I'm trying to think of La Vega.
Yep.
Right? 4A school, relatively large city. Or when Argyle was a 4A school. These programs.
Anna, Stephenville,
yes.
like
those types of either blue blood programs or programs in major metro areas.
Yes.
Right? I think Dallas Carter's a 4A. Like if Dallas Carter had an elite talent receiver, he'd be on everybody's radar. The fact that he's doing this in the Golden Triangle in Silsbee and is a 5-star receiver, I think that goes without saying that he was going to get noticed regardless. There is a certain level where I think you can hide at this point, but at this point you got to be way off the beaten path because I think that the tentacles of the recruiting industrial complex are so vast and so sticky that I think the days of elite talents, FBS caliber talents being able to hide, I think those days are done. I think that the internet has changed things, and I think that we have gotten better at I think coaches have gotten better at promoting their guys. I think players have gotten better at promoting themselves and getting noticed and understanding the landscape of going to camps and things like that. So all that is to say, first part of the question, Drelon Miller absolutely would have been a 5-star receiver, prospect at, or if he was at Katy or if he was at, Wolford Friendship or wherever, he would have been there. Mm-hmm. That's one part. Would he be having the same on-field success and be as dominant of a receiver at an Allen or a Denton Geyer or a Katy, right? It's interesting. One thing that I find to be interesting about at Silsbee is that they can, and I think Randy Smith does a good job, of scheming to his talent. Instead of putting the talent into his scheme, he schemes to the talent. I bet if you were to go up to Randy Smith and pump a full of truth serum, he'd say, I'd probably like to run the ball a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Like, just generally speaking. Mm-hmm. But you got a great quarterback. You got a number of great receivers, including an elite talent. They're going to throw the ball to those guys.
Yeah.
So I think that the scheme has something to do with it. As far as the talent level is concerned,
I
think he would still be a star. I think he would be in the kind of thing that we talk about with like DeCorian Moore at Duncanville, right? Or all of these other big time receivers at big time programs. Like he's a when you're a 5-star player, you're a guy that we think can play on Sundays.
Yep.
And Sunday players are going to be elite wherever they go.
Yeah, and that's the difference between like us and people like Greg Powers who follow recruiting is most of the time we look at it from a team perspective. We watch football differently than they do. They're not looking at it from a team perspective. They're looking at the player and comparing him to other like players. They're not comparing him to whoever the team that they're going up against.
Most certainly. So would his numbers be... And by the way, his numbers are good this year. They're not gaudy. They've kind of been blowing teams out, and I think they've tried to save him up. Obviously, I think he'd be going up against a little bit better talent, a little bit deeper talent at the 6A level, but I think he would still be a clear star and an all-state guy, in my opinion.
I agree.
So, there you go. What's next, Pickle? Now, I'm sorry to interrupt. The better question, and it's a good question, I want to be clear. Another question here is what would happen with a guy like Grayson Rigdon. Okay? Grayson Rigdon, the superstar player at Benjamin at the 6-man level.
Because he's playing different football.
Correct. He's playing a different style of football.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like slot T versus spread. I mean like
6
different
versus
rules
11.
and like how, like if you were to drop him into Silsby or you were to
Yeah.
drop him into Allen, what would he do there? And that's something that maybe as we go on through the playoffs we can discuss.
Well, and to just to play devil's advocate here too, something that always comes to my mind when you're talking about, hey, if they played at a bigger school, how would they compare? You honestly never know that if maybe he moved to a 6A program like that and the competition stake was higher for him to have to stand out more. Sometimes that can push out the better in people, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, sometimes it can make him play better. If he's sitting there and he knows for a fact that he's probably one of the best players on the field, but maybe not the best, sometimes that sparks that competitive spirit in it, too. And it's like, oh, yeah, at Silsby, he's used to just getting whatever he wants. You add in the level of competition, that has something to do with it sometimes, too.
I totally agree.
If you could have any former Texas high school football coach your children, who would you choose? I won't make you choose a favorite of current coaches. One, thank you.
So a former Texas high school football
or current. It could be former or current, but they didn't want to leave it to just current because that'd be kind of mean. I mean, there's the easy answers of like being able to say that your kid was coached by G.A. Moore or
Gordon
Phil
Wood.
Danaher. Yeah, like
Gordon Wood was the first place I went. And here's the thing. I guess the question would be, all right, well, let me get real sensitive here for a moment. What I would like from a football coach is to help to build my son into a better man, right? My son, Hank's awesome. Shout out, Hank. Probably not going to the NFL.
no.
I would say the odds are against it for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
But the odds are against it.
I
him
think
going to the NFL.
early things says Max is more likely to be your football player than Hank.
Yeah, he's a wild man.
Yeah.
So if you're looking, so my question, so the question is like, who would I trust to build my, to help my son become a better man? And the good news is, about 95% of high school football coaches, I'd be like, yep, absolutely, fantastic, go play for him. It's hard to pass up a guy like Gordon Wood. You know what I mean? Because the other thing is that like Gordon Wood, let's just say that the playing thing doesn't work out. His coaching tree is
Huge.
pretty vast.
Yeah.
Reginald Sample's kind of in that
huge.
same vein. So I'll say Gordon Wood. Gordon Wood would be my pick.
You know what's funny and it's odd because he's technically a former Texas high school football coach, but any time that I was lucky enough to go into a locker room like before the game when I was sideline reporting and listen to people give their speeches and stuff, John Kay. I would he was awesome
I think that's
with
a
student athletes.
Great one. I'll give another one. Joey McGuire.
Yes. Yep.
I'll give another one. Jeff Traylor. Those are guys that I would trust with my son.
Yes.
And be like, yep, go learn from them. You'll be a better football player, yes. But like I also trust that they're going to take care of you, and I also trust that they're going to have a stake in you being a better person.
Yep.
And that's what I want. So there you go. There's that. You want to do one more?
Yeah, if you had to have a mythical creature as a pet, what would it be and what would you name it?
A mythical creature.
I don't know how up to date I am on my mythical creatures.
I mean, you can do like a unicorn. You can do a dragon. You can do.
a dragon would be cool.
Narwhals are real, right?
Yeah.
Narwhals are real. They don't seem real.
Yeah, they're real.
Okay.
I have a narwhal shirt.
I mean, the having a dragon as somebody who is I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
There are people who are super into Game of Thrones. I feel like a dragon would be a real risk-reward situation. Do you know what I mean?
Like, if you want to hop on and fly somewhere, you can, but also if they wanted to burn your entire house down with, like,
also,
2
whenever
seconds,
they want,
could.
they can kill you.
Yeah.
Whenever they want, for no reason, indiscriminately. I think I'm going to go with the Pegasus. Okay?
Okay.
The flying horse.
I like that.
Feels like a pretty safe choice that also provides me with a fair amount of value because I can fly. I'm going to go with the Pegasus, and her name
Okay.
is going to be Francine.
Yep.
Francine the Pegasus is what I'm going to go with. Because, again, I want something that's not going to
Oh.
kill me. And I don't think a Pegasus is going to kill me. Famous last words. But also, I needed to provide some value for me. And I think that being able to fly to work would be great.
A fairy. I want a little fairy, like a little Tinkerbell.
Oh.
That flies around, and if I need to be like a fly on the wall type of
I mean-
situation, like, hey, go listen to what they're talking about over there, she just...
Like,
and
the
then goes.
answer's probably like a genie, right?
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about a genie. But that would be the thing. Are you only given 3 wishes?
I'll take 3 wishes.
That's fair. That's
Because
fair.
you know what the first wish is? Unlimited wishes.
Correct.
Okay.
When I Googled mythical creatures, do you want to know what popped up? Like the first couple of them?
Yeah, what's the mythical creatures Google search look like?
Dragon, unicorn, mermaid, werewolf, fairy, Loch Ness monster, a sphinx,
Loch Ness Monster.
a griffin. That's another good one.
Mm-hmm.
A centaur. That's the first one that originally popped into my head. A yeti. That rolls. Like, what if it
A
was just
yeti.
me and Bigfoot walking
Chilling.
through Walmart?
Just vibes.
A ghoul.
A
Gnome. Did you know a gnome is considered a mythical creature?
Well, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, there's not gnomes. They
yeah.
they're not walking around.
Yeah. I guess that's
Like they're
true.
real or they're not real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what
They're
you're
not
saying.
real.
They're not alive.
They're not alive. They're not like, yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what they want you to think.
Maybe that is what they want you to
There's okay. Let's go back to conspiracy theories here. That's my conspiracy theories. Gnomes pull a Nightmare at the Museum type of situation, and they come alive at night.
Your conspiracy theory is that Toy Story is a documentary?
Yes, correct. Buzz is real. Gosh darn it!
That would be terrifying. That would be terrifying.
Yes, it would.
I don't.
Yeah.
I gotta run back Toy Story. My kids have not been into like Hank was really into Toy Story 2 or 3, one of them. I know he's into Cars 2, which sucks because Cars 2 is the worst one.
Yeah. But original Cars is amazing.
Original Cars hits. I'll watch original Cars whenever, but Cars 2 sucks.
Yep. Is that the one where they go to Italy?
Yes, they go.
The Mater wasabi bit is really good.
I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm saying that it's mostly bad. Like rounding up, it's all bad. Anyway, yeah, I will go with a Pegasus.
Okay. We can end the show on this, but I always like when people walk into the office for like business meetings and stuff, and then we're in here debating if gnomes
Are gnomes real?
There's like
okay,
super
let's-
important
you know
people
what,
walking
let's
into the
hammer out-
office.
Let's hammer out this contract so that we can make sure that there's a mutually agreeable business relationship. And in the other room, separated by a wall, we're just like, I don't know if gnomes are real. I wonder if they get up in the middle of the night and walk around and eat my vegetables.
Can you imagine owning a Yeti?
I swear this is just coffee, guys. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Remember, Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight, 7:30 p.m.
Let's party.
TexasLive.com, YouTube, and Facebook. Be there or be square. Before we go, Pickle, one last thing to do, and that's to roll out the Week 10 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in conjunction with the Tax Act Texas Bowl, is proud to present the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week Award to the most deserving high schooler in the state of Texas. Each Monday, TexasFootball.com announces 10 candidates for that week's award based on the previous week's on-field performance. Fans then decide the winner by voting on TexasFootball.com. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week Award. For more information, visit TexasFootball.com.